Welcome back to our channel, where we update the thrilling, fascinating and surprising details surrounding the movie Beyond the Gates. If you are a fan of dramatic twists, hidden secrets and characters who are always on the brink of death, then this is the place for you. Today, we will delve into a new turning point that shakes the entire Hamilton family when Bill suddenly collapses in Hayley's arms, dragging along a series of mysteries about medicine, artificial intelligence and hidden conspiracies that have never been revealed. The quiet night was torn apart by a panicked scream. Hayley could not have imagined that the romantic moment with Bill would turn into a nightmare with no way out. Just a few seconds ago, she was lying next to the man who made her heart flutter. His eyes still shining with affection, his warm voice whispering promises. But then Bill stiffened, his eyes glazed over, and before Hayley could comprehend what was happening, his body collapsed on top of hers, heavy and lifeless as if time had stopped. The shaking in Bill's hands that he had tried so hard to hide, that he had dismissed as a minor annoyance, now exploded into an unfolding tragedy. Hayley felt her heart pounding, her mind going blank as she used all her strength to push him away and dial 911 in desperation. Every second felt like an hour. While waiting for the ambulance, she held Bill, shaking him in tears, fear seeping deep into her chest, choking out all hope. That scene was not only the beginning of a medical crisis, but also the gateway to a series of secrets that had been buried for years in the Hamilton family. Not only is Bill a man who has gone through profound psychological turmoil, he is also the pillar holding the fragile balance of a tangled web of relationships, where fragments of the past are just waiting to burst. At the hospital, doctors quickly determine that Bill's condition is far more serious than anyone has ever known. It's a neurological condition, possibly advanced Parkinson's, or even a rare degenerative disease that is destroying his central nervous system. The hand tremors that Bill once dismissed as stress are now clear signs of an inescapable problem. But what makes things more serious is that a blood test shows an abnormality. An unapproved neuromodulatory drug is in Bill's system. And the bigger question looms, is he self-medicating in ways no one knows about, or is someone deliberately manipulating him? Hayley, torn between guilt and confusion, finds herself at the center of the spiral as she is the last person to be with Bill. She blames herself for not recognizing the signs sooner, for falling in love instead of listening to his failing body and mind. But the haunting doesn't stop there. The incident prompts Chelsea, Bill's sister who once had a deep relationship with him, to start digging into old medical records and scraps of diary entries she happened to have kept. She finds panicked entries about tremors, loss of control, and especially a recurring name, Naomi. Naomi, a neurologist who was Bill's partner and former lover, quickly becomes the focus of suspicion. Her quiet return to town a few weeks ago, which had attracted little attention, is now under the microscope of suspicion. Did she give Bill untested treatments? Was their relationship never really over? And if so, was Hayley just a stand-in while Naomi carried out her plan? While Chelsea investigates the medical and psychological aspects of the matter, Naomi begins to act on her own. She shows up at the hospital, coolly calm, asking to join Bill's medical team, citing her past relationship and personal knowledge of his condition. Despite opposition from many, Naomi is approved to join as a consultant, a decision that will cost many. Danny, Bill's estranged daughter whom he had never publicly acknowledged, also suddenly returns after years of absence. Her relationship with Bill is one of the secrets the entire Hamilton family wants to bury. Danny's presence not only brings back painful memories for Chelsea and Hayley, but also shakes Naomi, as she was the one who advised Bill not to reveal Danny's true identity. Now, with Bill's condition hanging by a thread, all the lies of the past begin to fall like dominoes. Danny is not alone. She brings a handwritten letter, written by Bill himself just months before his illness began to worsen, in which he acknowledges the existence of a silent threat looming over his life. Bill had suspected that someone was secretly adjusting his medication, deliberately pushing him into a state of paranoia and depression. The letter shocked everyone, because if it was true, Bill's health condition was not just the result of natural causes but also a conspiracy. While the hospital tried to keep the matter under wraps, the media began to sniff out the news. A freelance journalist, who had a grudge against the Hamilton family, published an article implicating Bill in illegal medical experiments led by Naomi years ago. The article quickly went viral, drawing criticism and skepticism. The Hamilton family is forced to hold an emergency internal meeting to decide how much truth to reveal and what to keep. During the meeting, Naomi coldly asserts that she is not involved in any conspiracy, but her eyes on Hayley are challenging and arrogant. She knows that Danny's appearance is a fatal blow to her prestige and power in the family, but Naomi is never one to give up. A new plan has begun to form in her mind, a plan to restore her role at all costs. At the same time, Hayley finds a recording on Bill's phone, recorded just before the night he fainted. In it, his voice is weak but determined. He talks about his fear of being controlled, of being turned into a test subject. He speaks of fading memories, of someone who once loved him deeply but may now be using that love to destroy him. The recording becomes living proof of Bill's anxiety. It makes Hayley start to doubt herself. Did she ever really know the man who lay beside her every night? She begins to replay every conversation, every small gesture, every glance in the dim light. It all takes on a new hue, making her shudder. Bill may have tried to send a distress signal, but she, in the ecstasy of love, did not notice it. Bill's condition remains critical, and while he is in a coma, secrets continue to surface. A mismatched DNA sample is discovered in Bill's medical records, raising a shocking question. Has he had part of his nerve tissue replaced in a secret operation? If so, who authorized it? And what is the purpose? While everyone is caught up in a maze of truth and lies, a mysterious figure enters the picture, a doctor who worked with Naomi in Europe, who claims to have evidence that Bill was involved in an undisclosed experimental neural transplant program. Arriving with only a file and a deep gaze, the man claims to have come to save Bill, or put an end to what is happening, if things get out of hand. The appearance of the mysterious doctor, named Elias, turns the already tense atmosphere in the hospital into a suffocating one. Elias is a man who disappeared after a medical scandal in Switzerland, where a research program was abruptly shut down for unknown reasons. But now he returns, holding a copy of Bill's signed document confirming his participation in a dangerous experimental procedure: the implantation of artificial neural tissue to restore degenerative motor functions. Elias claims that Bill volunteered after his hand tremors became worse, and was referred to the program by Naomi. But Elias warns that the procedure can have serious side effects if not monitored closely. Bill's fainting spells may not have been accidental, but a sign that his implanted system was being attacked or degraded. The cause? It could have been the intervention of a third party, someone who knew too much or wanted to destroy all relevant evidence. Meanwhile, Hayley, unable to leave the hospital, begins to receive anonymous messages, cold and disjointed. You should have left him alone, don't seek the truth if you can't handle it. Bill made his choice, but you're not the one to know. Each message is a needle in her heart, pushing her into a state of extreme stress. She begins to suspect everyone around her. Chelsea with her mysterious toughness, Naomi with her cold smile, Danny with her unreadable eyes, and even Elias himself, who comes as a savior but always avoids specific questions. Meanwhile, Chelsea, with a keen and determined mind, secretly goes to Bill's old apartment where he lived for a short time after breaking up with Naomi. She discovers a locked wooden box hidden under the floor, containing dozens of tapes and sketches of a strange medical device. The sketches show that Bill worked with Elias and Naomi not just as patients, but as partners, co-founders of a neurotechnology project that goes beyond conventional ethical standards. The tapes gradually reveal a chilling truth. In it, Bill admits to fearing that Naomi is increasingly ambitious, willing to experiment on him if he can prove success. He talks about strange dreams, memories that are not his own, and the feeling of losing control of his own body. He doesn't know if he is alive or just a biological data model being tested. As Hayley listened to the tapes, she felt every cell in her body freeze. The man she loved, perhaps no longer herself. But love would not allow her to turn away. She decided to secretly take a sample of Bill's blood to test at a private lab, without telling anyone, not even Elias or the hospital staff. The results came back and devastated her. There were traces of a new biological compound, not found in any official medical records. It was encoded with a unique identifier. Traceable to a single lab, the closed research facility in Switzerland where Elias and Naomi had worked. When Hayley tried to confront Naomi, she did not deny it. But what Naomi says leaves Hayley speechless. "You don't understand. Bill is not a victim. He is a creator. You think I control him? No. Bill is someone who has gone before all of us, including me. You are trying to love someone who is not sure who he is anymore." As everything seems to be spinning out of control, Bill wakes up. But he has no memory of that night. He doesn't recognize Hayley. He looks at Naomi and calls her by another name, Lyra, to everyone's shock. Elias immediately orders a full neurological exam. Suspecting that Bill has developed multiple personalities or has suffered damage to the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. But Chelsea doesn't believe it's a natural consequence. She believes Bill is being controlled by the technology he helped create. Danny, in an effort to reconnect with her estranged father, decides to reveal a long-held secret. She once found on Bill's computer a piece of software code that is tied to the nervous system, which can record emotions and reflexes like a clone of the person's identity. What scares her is that the code seems to not only collect, but also has the ability to overwrite, meaning that someone can recreate a person's emotions, even thoughts. The possibilities are terrifying. If Bill was the creator of that system, and now he is the first person to receive a tissue transplant integrated with that biological operating system, then he may be living in a mixed reality, both him and not him. Naomi may have tried to save him, or use him, but it is clear that she has now lost control. Elias is once again the one who holds the final piece together. He admits that Bill once created a failsafe, something that could shut down his entire biological integration if it felt violated. But that code was never activated. And now, as Bill's mental state deteriorates, the code could be disabled, or, worse, taken over. A race is on. Hayley, Chelsea, Danny, and Elias must work together not only to keep Bill alive, but to protect him from the very technology he once loved. Meanwhile, Naomi, cornered, announces that she will activate a special recovery program, something she believes will return Bill to his former self. But Elias warns that doing so could permanently strip Bill of what remains of his true self. They are faced with a dire choice: accept Bill's existence as a hybrid, or risk saving his original self, even if it means his death. The story is not over yet, and perhaps the scariest part has not really begun. With Bill's heart torn between humanity and technology, between love and ambition, can he find himself again, or will he remain a programmed memory? To not miss any of the shocking developments that follow, don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel today. We will continue to bring you exclusive analysis, creative content and surprising theories about Beyond the Gates and many other fascinating films. See you in the next videos.